All right. Welcome, Curt. I'm stoked you're here with us today. Curt is the co-founder and CEO of InnerProfessional, which is a leadership and professional development company. Curt and I met a while back at Wisdom 2.0 and hit it off. How can you not? He's an awesome guy. InnerProfessional is on a mission to elevate conscious, authentic personal fulfillment among professionals, which is a phenomenal mission to run with on a daily basis. And Curt's got various background in leadership roles in tech companies and co-founding multiple media business startups, which is why he's here with us today to talk about his insights as an entrepreneur on that entrepreneurial journey and his passion about making a difference in the world, in the communities, and for the planet. And we want to talk today about unhustling via community and collaboration. Welcome, Curt.
Hey, Milena. Hey, Jamie. Great to see you guys.
Awesome to be here with you today. I know there's going to be more people watching this later on. So let's kick it off with what brought you to InnerProfessional. Give us the story.
Okay, well, first, my business partners and I, and most of the members of our team have had long careers in either tech or media. And we've also all simultaneously been passionate about personal growth and well-being. And we know that there are a lot of leaders and professionals out there that struggle with burnout and how to find a path where they can both succeed and flourish in well-being. And so on a more personal level, I left the corporate world in order to be more purpose-focused, and I co-founded a previous startup that was syndicating clean tech and sustainable business news. And during that time, I came across a focus group where people from Middle America were asked to define sustainability. And rather than talking about the environment or the planet, these folks focused more on their personal survival and well-being of their families. And frankly, most of them were struggling. And the light went on for me that to get people to care about global issues, we might need to first show them a way to flourish within themselves. And so here we are right now, focused first on the workplace and imparting some behavioral wisdom there.
That's awesome, Curt. I love it. We're on a very similar mission on that sustainable success. So success defined in Western affluent culture normally means wealth. Mm-hmm. So how do you define sustainable success?
Well, I mean, for us, really, it's more about our purpose and what we want to accomplish. So we've set a company goal to have trained 1 million people by the end of 2023. And our genuine hope is that all the people that we touch will then be empowered to make greater positive influences in their organizations, in their communities. And if we can do well by doing good, then everybody wins.
Okay, so tell me, how do you help, or what's your plan to help these 1 million people create success? I know you have an awesome course, Resonate, which I have checked out, and you have a few other courses. So is that primarily what InnerProfessional is? Is it online, on-demand type setup? Yeah.
Yeah, and but it's there's been a lot of backlash about e-learning, and everybody with COVID has been online, and frankly, a lot of purveyors out there are not doing a very good job at it. And we've been perfecting this process over a dozen years of building e-learning systems for other clients, and now we've done it for ourselves. And what it boils down to is we want to try to approximate the experience that you might have in an in-person workshop, where you meet people, you network, you work together, and you get to interact directly with the instructor. And And so there's a social learning process. And
Oh,
so, I mean, those are techniques that we use then to deliver courses on things like executive presence and coaching cultures and emotional intelligence and mindfulness, applying mindfulness to the workplace. And essentially all of these skills that are more humanistic skills that have a lot more to do with thriving at what you do than just the technical skill of doing it.
right, right. Which is where Unhustle's main mission is how to put that humanity before hustle. So let me ask you, how do you apply that unhustling to your work and to your life?
Yeah, I think we're really well aligned. So personally, and I think all of us will agree that the experience is that no matter what your goal is, no one can really ever accomplish it all by themselves. And when I was in the corporate world, it was really all about drive, drive, drive. And don't get me wrong, I think having drive and initiative is important for getting things done, but that behavior alone misses something in the bigger picture. So also, I think right now there's a part of our culture that really wants to move from me to we. And you can see this in just like what's in the news with people arguing over masking and those kinds of things. So there's a whole contingent that really, as we talk about collaboration, there's, for years we've heard people talk about crowdsourcing, people on the internet anyway, talking about crowdsourcing and community. And what I like to think about right now is attracting collaborators. And if I have collaborators, it also helps me focus on two other essential approaches. And you mentioned the course Resonate. So a lot of what I'm talking about actually comes from Jenny Whitelaw, who's an extraordinary instructor in the course there. So besides, the drive and collaboration, we also need to take in the big picture of where we're headed and what direction is the wind and the current coming from, to use a sailing analogy. And so, and then on top of that, we need to spend energy on organizing. So those are kind of the four elements for me that make up Unhustle. And what Jenny calls, if you can find a balance between these four things, you can find a place of flow or effortless effort. So the four things are drive, collaboration, organizing, and big picture.
Interesting. Tell me a little bit more about the organizing part.
Okay, so organizing is kind of like, okay, well, you've got to have some structure for how things get done. And so we're talking about collaboration and community. So what do you want to ask them to do? And how are you going to enable them to do it? And so we have a whole section on our website that's devoted to collaboration. And so, you can get some examples by going to InnerProfessional.com/collaborate. And there, we talk about, you can take a course, you can invite friends, you could even use our course content in a product or service that you offer, and develop your own community around it.
Got it. Okay. Interesting. I haven't heard this kind of terminology before. Collaboration. Who is your ideal person on both sides of the company?
Well, I think there are a lot of things that we need to get done in order, we're a new startup. Nobody's ever heard of our brand. So, part of that collaboration is just inviting people who experience us to help get the word out. And also, you've invited me into this talk. And so in a way, we're collaborating right now. Mm-hmm. And so I really think, putting out a call to the universe, we'll sponsor events, we'll work with coaches and trainers and consultants and anybody who's in the business of imparting wisdom for the workplace. We'll invite them into a collaboration, and we'll offer up whatever we can offer in exchange for, hey, let's all get on the same mission. What we're really trying to do is build a better world and help people out of their struggles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How did you apply the principles of what you're currently doing with InnerProfessional?
How do we apply?
How do you personally apply them?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll just touch base on some of our courses. So we have a course on mindfulness in the workplace. Mm-hmm. Mindfulness is staying present in the moment without judgment. And so, a lot of people think about mindfulness as sitting on a cushion and meditation. And that certainly is an exercise that helps build the muscle, if you will, the practice. But really applying it in every moment, moments like this. Let's just stay present. Let's make sure I'm listening and offering answers to your questions. And if you throw me a question that throws me off, then not get judgmental about it, but to stay present in the moment and search for the most authentic answer. So that's one example. Emotional intelligence is another example. Mm-hmm. And that is understanding that our emotions are really an information system. When we're having a strong emotion, there is something going on in our holistic system, not just our brain, but in our body, that is trying to tell us something. And so, for example, let's say anger, right? Somebody does something that really pisses you off. What's the information in that? Well, a boundary was crossed. Mm-hmm. You had a boundary, and either you didn't present that boundary to that person, or they ignored your boundary, and it made you angry. And so using that information then allows you to formulate what your response is going to be. Mm-hmm. Right. And so I have a boundary here. And so there are multiple other emotions that you can process to give you information on what to do. Mm-hmm. And, we have a course called Coach Yourself Up. Mm-hmm. And it's a course about personal awareness, managing your attention, your focus, and identifying where you're getting in your own way. And so most of the time when we're getting in our own way, it's because we've got a story going on in our mind, and that story leads to a behavior. So for example, let's say, Milena, I sent you an email, and days go by and I don't get a response. And I send you another email, and days go by and I don't get a response. And so then I start telling myself a story. Mm-hmm. Is Milena mad at me? Does she not want to work with me? And so that story can then lead to my next message coming across very harshly, when in fact, you might have been on vacation.
Wait, did that actually happen? Because I'm notorious for not staying in my inbox. But I know what you mean. Yes. Yeah. And yes, so, I absolutely agree with you on this story. And it happens so fast, right? And that loop keeps repeating and making it stronger and stronger and stronger. Jamie had a question for you. How long you said it's a new company? How new is it?
Well, the InnerProfessional side of the business is less than 2 years old. And so we're just getting started. And of course, we had a little hit with COVID, especially imparting what some people call soft skills in the corporate world. And some people see that as discretionary. Sadly, it's very sad that some people see it as discretionary and they call it soft skills, because the fact is, these may be the hardest skills for people to learn. And so we're actually offering courses, both B2B, we're selling into the corporate space. Things are heating up this fall, so our fall schedule is looking really strong. And then we're also offering open enrollment to the public. So, members of your community, if you're a growth-minded professional, you want to check out our course calendar. And
and actually, Curt and I have created a plan for everybody who's following Unhustle. So you can go to unhustle.com/InnerProfessional. And you can even put in the word Unhustle and get $100 off any one of these courses. So that's a little perk here for the Unhustle community. Thank you so much, Curt, for doing that. That is also an affiliate link. So your price doesn't change, but Unhustle gets a little kickback so we can keep the lights on.
That's right. And definitely use the coupon code Unhustle, because then that helps keep Milena's lights on.
Yes, and I need lights so I can light myself up on camera. Thank you, Curt. I know you and I have been talking for a few months now. I'm curious if Jamie actually has any questions. He's with us live. I know he brings in a new interesting perspective as well to this workplace. So Jamie, do you have any questions for us?
I have one comment to start off, maybe. Curt, thank you for doing this. This is fantastic. As you were talking, I was scrolling through your website, and it's just beautiful. It's laid out really well. It's very easy to navigate. And I noticed one in there. You said that you were looking for affiliates and things like that. So I hope you don't mind. I've already sent it off to a buddy of mine who might be able to help you out with that. And I'm excited to know. I wonder if you could talk a little bit more about the collaboration aspect of it, as far as what can people do to help support your platform?
Yeah, well, take a course, get a feeling for what it's like. And, if anybody is, I'll put this out there, if you're financially challenged, we also have scholarship programs. So I know a lot of people are still struggling post-COVID. And so on the website, you'll poke around under the courses navigation, you'll find scholarships. So, I mean, we're looking for people that if you're in the corporate environment, for example, and you feel like these skills would be beneficial for your team, let's talk. And let's see if we can come up with, some special pricing or a deal for you to make use of. So if you're a coach, if you're a trainer, if your world is doing the same thing, imparting wisdom for the workplace to leaders and professionals, let's figure out ways that we can work together. Maybe you'd like to offer a course on our platform, or maybe you'd like to use some of our content. One thing that let's say an executive coach can do, if you're working one-on-one with individuals, the advantage of an online course is there'll be a whole set of topics in education when you're first starting to work with that client, to get everybody on like a common set of terminology and concepts. And so by going through an online course with them, then you get all of that presentation, you get this common foundation to build from. And then as a coach, what you're focused on, your service is taking them to the next level beyond what the course is providing. And, our courses are highly interactive. We put them together in cohort groups. And we use social media techniques for people to work together. And so people get a lot out of that social interaction. But if you're a coach, you can also do the same thing with your client. You can go through the course with them and then have your own separate coaching session to go well beyond where the course can take them. So those are a few examples.
Awesome, Curt. Thank you. Thanks, Jamie. Excellent, Curt. So tell me, what do you like to do in your time off? How do you recover and recharge?
Yeah, well, I'm very fortunate to live only 2 blocks from the ocean. And so every day I go for a walk by the seaside, and rain or shine. And so that puts me in a good space. You know, part of, I think part of the Unhustle philosophy that I think you're part of, Milena, is making sure that you're taking care of and managing your own well-being and energy, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We all have an energy budget of how much we can put out before we start getting depleted. And this is what leads people to burnout. Mm-hmm. And so if we manage our energy budget, and so then we allow other things in, like a walk by the ocean, or I go biking, or I mean, you've got a movie poster. This was a documentary that I made in the Himalayas.
Very cool.
That's some of my more adventurous thing, and not sure how much effortless effort there is in an endeavor like that. But
I actually really want to drill into this, Curt, because in my opinion, if you are doing something challenging, not too challenging, but something that is challenging enough, I think your rest and the recovery is way better than if you're doing something boring, right? I mean, still puts you in that state of flow, right? So that's why you see successful people like you doing adventurous things.
Yeah, I think, you know, in this documentary that I produced, one of my messages is it's really all about the journey, no matter what your ambition is. And for me, an ambition is something that's heartfelt, right? It could be something as simple as, I just really feel like I need to go back to school. You know, that's an ambition. Or I need to go buy a house, or, you know, whatever your ambition is. If it's something that's really resonating in your body, and I call it heartfelt, no matter how extreme it may sound, or how much criticism you get from others, like you're crazy to go do that. If it's heartfelt, you need to go do it. Now, you may not accomplish the objective. This is the important thing. It's all about going on the journey and learning what you get out of the journey.
I mean, that's part of failing and still having fun, right? I mean, you can't always nail it. And that I think that's part of being an entrepreneur, is being able to pick up, dust off, and go do something else. Have you failed in any one of your adventures?
Oh, well, I spent decades in the corporate world. And I bailed out of there to go play in the motion picture industry, and as well as do documentary films. And I gave it about 6 years. And because I did it kind of at middle age, I learned that it takes a long time to be successful in that industry. And so I kind of got tired of it, of the not being able to sustain my financial position. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, an opportunity came up to co-found this environmental sustainability green business news startup. And so, having a technology background and internet background, I thought, okay, well, this is my ticket. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, as entrepreneuring goes, one of my entrepreneur mentors likes to say, entrepreneuring is an unnatural act.
We're a little crazy.
It's an unnatural act. It requires a kind of perseverance that normal jobs don't require. We started that company. We were raising venture capital just before the last recession hit in 2008 and 2009. So we fell short of our venture capital raise, and we still tried to realize a goal that was way too ambitious for the amount of funding that we had. We struggled to keep it going, and then things just became difficult. Sadly, I perhaps made a bad partner choice. I had a partner who walked away from the business, leaving me holding the bag. And this is sometimes what happens as an entrepreneur.
I learned that lesson at 17.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gone there again. And I don't think I ever will.
Yeah. Well, and so I still partner with people. We were talking about collaboration.
Yes.
That part of it is also defining what the
yes.
collaboration looks like, and giving people, in our course called Leading a Coaching Culture, it's also important to identify, okay, what are you, the collaborator, what are your goals? It's important for me to identify that, right? What do you want to accomplish? How can we set this up that we're both successful?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think collaboration is awesome. I think sometimes partnership could be hard.
Mm-hmm. When it boils down to 100-page contracts and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
That gets really difficult.
Yep. Curt, when did you grow your hair out when you left the corporate world?
Yeah, I had short hair most of my life, and especially when I was in the corporate world. And I noticed that you found a photo on the internet that you put up to promote this talk. My hair has been growing about 4 years. It started with actually the influence of my life partner, who actually passed away 3 years ago from cancer. And that's a whole nother life journey. And so kind of a tribute to her is I grew my hair. Mm-hmm. And, the other thing that I find, we're in the process of adding a course on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I have found since I've been a long hair is, especially in the business world, I do find times where I'm discriminated against because of the length of my hair. If you're really serious about business, you won't be a long hair. And that kind of discrimination kind of gives me a feeling of solidarity for people who, other people who they're just systematic discrimination that are built into our systems and our attitudes. So now I wear it as kind of a badge of courage.
A rebellion.
Yeah, the rebellion, that Unhustle rebellion.
I like rebels. I like rebels. Excellent, Curt. So once again, that link for people to check out the courses, if they're listening to this, is unhustle.com InnerProfessional, and you can get $100 off with the code Unhustle to check out any one of your courses. I know you have, how many courses do you have right now, Curt?
There are 8 altogether that are currently available.
Yeah, that are really well done, because Curt has a passion for cinematography, as we heard. So they're well done. Good job with the courses. I've checked them out. Not all of them. I've checked a couple of them out, and they're really well done. So congrats. What are your plans for the next 3 years with the company?
So getting to scale, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole reason we're doing this online, and we started this way before COVID, is recognizing that there are techniques whereby you can educate people in an entertaining way, in an engaging way online. And the way to get to scale is to do it that way. Mm-hmm. And so, we're talking to companies whereby one, I won't name any names, but a big tech company wants to train 15,000 first line managers. And so you bet.
Yeah.
We're there for that. Now, you know, as corporate sales go, you know, those kinds of deals come and go. And so we'll be very humble about it. But definitely our goal is to get to 1 million trained, you know, after a couple of years, and hopefully scale from there. Great.
Well, I wish you good luck on that. I know I'll be a big supporter of what you're doing and your vision and your passion. So I'm with you for the ride.
All right.
Is there anything I didn't ask you that you would like to say?
No, I think we've covered quite a lot of territory.
Excellent. Jamie, any questions? Let me check, see any questions here.
I just think, man, 1 million people, what an incredible opportunity to impact so many people. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Join us.
I will.
Curt,
I heard culture and I've already looked it up. So that's what I'm gonna do next, is go look at and review that.
Terrific. Wonderful.
Curt, do you have a book?
Personally, I don't have a book, but most of our faculty members do.
Excellent. And I'm looking forward to bringing some of them up in the community as well and on the podcast. So we'll connect with them. You have some interesting people in your community.
I think
in your faculty.
Enjoy what they have to offer.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm super excited. Well, thank you so much, Curt. I'm looking forward to just growing with you along that journey and inspiring and bringing more consciousness to the workplace. I wish you good luck with it.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to reach out, you can find our contact form on the web.
That's right. How do people get in touch with you?
Go to unhustle.com/InnerProfessional.
That's right. All right, Curt. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy. Blessings.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.